G'day, I'm Greg and welcome to the shed. Today's going to be another talking turkey. I've been away for a while, so I apologise that you haven't heard or seen much of me, which some of you probably aren't that upset about it, not seeing me anyway. But what's happened is, where are we? It's 14th of June today. In May, I flew out on the 2nd of May, got home on the 29th of May, and in between times I spent half the night at home. I flew in one afternoon and I was gone at 3 o'clock the next morning. Got home, wanted to spend a couple of weeks at home. Had a burst water pipe, had to fix that. Had a few other issues. Then I got called away to do a shutdown, and when I was doing that shutdown I got a phone call and had to go and do some emergency shift coverage at another site because they'd had a major equipment failure and they needed 2 extra people on site to help them out. So yeah, I was there, which was good in some ways, but what it means is I wasn't home getting stuff done. Incidentally, with what I do, because it's mainly shutdown and shift coverage, you only get paid when you're working. There's no regular income. When you're at work, doing hours, you get paid. When you stop work, no pay. That's it. It's like I'm standing here talking to you, not getting paid. So that's why things are a little bit patchy. What's in your box? The tools, a few people have asked about that, particularly Shadow Dog being one. I know there's some other people that have been curious about it. The stuff is on the water as we speak. Apparently it left last week, so it's still probably the best part of a month away, because it'll be another 3 weeks thereabouts before it lands in Australia. But it's landing on the other side of Australia, which is about, or where it'll be, it's about 3,500 k's away, and then it's got to come by road to here. So 3 weeks there. No, by the time it gets through customs, yada yada yada, it's probably going to be 2 weeks, another 2 weeks before it gets here. So it's probably still 5 weeks away. So it's June, July. If I see it by the end of July, that'll be pretty good, which means that it's probably going to be the last ever what's in your box prize that gets opened, which is, in all honesty, well, it's I suppose it's a bit of an honour in some ways, but it's a real tragedy that Keith and Vanessa had to cease doing what's in your box. Yeah, such a fantastic thing, and it would have been great for it to have continued, but there's things that are more important. Keith, at the end of the day, he's got to run a business, and while he was getting lots of stuff come in, he wasn't necessarily getting all the help that he should have. But hey, look, there's more to it, which I've got no doubt that I don't know about. But yeah, look, again, thanks Keith, thanks Vanessa, and thanks to all the contributors. But yeah, look, even though I've been running around the countryside, there's been a few bits and pieces coming in, a few things happening, and we'll start off with something that I got from one side of Australia well, actually one side, it was not far away from where my toolbox is landing. It was something that popped up on YouTube Machinists, and my name was it was put there by Bruce Witham as a suggestion, and I spoke to Travis, and Travis said, well, here you go, I've got to do a little something for Travis, but I'll show you what it is. That, my friends, is a vise. This welding helmet's pretty much standard across the world in size and shape. And there's plenty of space in here for a welding helmet. It's a shaper vise, and it's going to go on my shaper. Travis Hammond of Hammond Engineering kindly put it on the skid and sent it to me. I've got to send Travis a little something as an appreciation. It's something, yeah, it's huge. It's got the swivel base on it. I haven't cleaned it up yet. There's a piece missing off this corner. Looking at that, I'd say it was missing well before Travis got it. He picked it up apparently with some other stuff that he didn't even know he had it. And it's a heavy little sod. Yeah, I'll just move you around a bit. You're on the stand, so and it's in a position so that I can get to stuff. So that gives you a bit more of a look at it. We've got down here on the base, swivel base, low profile, which gives me a pretty good indication that it's a shaper vise. Yeah, an awesome bit of kit. Absolutely awesome. It's obviously been used on a millet sometime. Not very well by the looks of it, but hey, what the hell. I can't complain at all. So, Travis, thank you very much. Bruce, for putting my name up against the post. Thank you very much. Now we'll turn you off and we'll have a look at something else. Okay, and amongst other things, metal cutting blade for a drop saw. Maximum 1800 RPM. Now I've got a saw that's belt driven, and so I can get it to the speed that I want. And what we've got here, it's rated or specified. Let's see if it makes. Yep, hopefully it's not very there. Steel stud, steel pipe, steel sheet, angle iron, threaded rod. There's a little asterisk there which is 1/4 inch maximum wall thickness, and with mild steel only 1 inch diameter. So, but that does a lot of what I want to do. So they go on that there's a few other things, and supposedly it's got an anti-kickback design, which we'll find out, which really, in all honesty, it really won't worry me, because the drop saw that it's on, doesn't matter if it tries to bite, it's not going to be an issue. They go on a bit about it, but yeah, I'm going to give that a burn when I get a chance, so I'll try that. I've got to take a couple of dents out of the car, or at least make them a little bit less obvious. So amongst other things, this is something I should have bought years ago, because I'm always peeling trims off by hand or getting bits and pieces. So what I did was I bought this trim removal kit, which I probably should have bought, buddy. Well, you couldn't get them 20 years ago, but I could have done with it 20 years ago. I've made stuff up out of hacksaw blades and bits and pieces like this one here. It's stuff that you always need when you're doing body trim stuff. So I decided I'd lash out, get it. It'll last me for a while. A couple of the dents are in awkward places, so we've got a couple extras. Look, this stuff's cheap. I think that was under $20 delivered. This is a metal one for getting under those little plastic, under the little plastic clips, body clips and trim clips. Some of these came with some other stuff that I bought, which you'll get to see in a little bit. There's a similar one. That's actually the same as that one. Almost the same. They've actually got, well, the angles basically the same, the shape's basically the same. This one here's got some serrations and some grip in here, which I don't know if you can see, where the one next to it is, it's got a little bit, but it's nowhere near as well defined. Slightly different handle colours, might have come out of out of a different factory, might not have. The pop it up trim removal. Yeah, there's a bit of free play in them, but they only have to be good enough. I might give it a little bit of a tweak just to get it over towards the other side a little bit more. It's like it's pretty good there, but you just slide that up under the clip and out it comes. Now, while we're talking about clips, because when I'm working on cars, I'm always short on clips. So we got this one here, which is fascia retainer clips, push type. We've got that one. We've got this one here, which I think this one was primarily a Toyota kit by memory, because parents and sister and that have all got Toyotas. That kit over there is primarily Ford, I think. But yeah, so we've got these little clips here, which we all know about. Anyone who, I say we all know about, anyone who ever uses them knows about them. They drive you insane. Got these little flat ones. So we've got the gear for pushing ones to take, so you can screw into them. So these ones, yeah, a lot of the stuff's very similar between the different car manufacturers anyway. And then we've got these ones here. These are the under tray trim clips that go up underneath the radiator, underneath the car, under the sump and whatever. Just a little bottle of touch-up paint, which I'll need for my car when I get to it. Now, these are Silver Welders pencils. Illuminates during cutting or welding. Now, supposedly, when cutting or welding, unlike soapstone, will not burn or rub off. When dull, it can be sharpened with an ordinary pencil sharpener. So, I'm going to be interested to give them a rope. They're silver ones. Silver's always good when you're trying to look at a shiny silver surface. So I thought I'd get some red ones as well. And they come with an eraser on the end of them. So they're going to be interesting to try. Should be enough there to last me a couple of weeks. I think the red's probably going to be easier to work with. I was getting low on soapstone, on sticks, so I bought a big box which came with a pencil to hold them in. We'll turn you off and I'll be back again in a minute. Now, isopropyl alcohol, also known as rubbing alcohol. I bought 10 litres of this delivered to my place. This came from Sydney Solvents and they don't give me anything. They don't even know who I am as I make this conversation. Well, they do know who I am because it bloody came off my credit card, but that's about where it is. I got this delivered for about the price of a litre and a half from a certain hardware store in Australia. So yeah, on paper it's the same stuff. We'll see how good it is when I come to use it. When it comes to using it, I was talking about dents earlier on. It'll go in a little squirt bottle. PDR kit. What you do, PDR, paintless dent removal, or a rag for rubbing stuff off. We'll go through the kit in a little bit, but there's two kits to have a look at. Set of wheel bearings and brake pads to go into a car, or into one of my utes. And then I need to change the body over on it and get rid of that. The Big Green hardware store did, however, have these big scouring pads, these big Scotch Brights out on special. I think these were about $5 a pack, which by Australian standards is pretty good. And they were so cheap that I just got 2 packs of them, so that should last me a couple of weeks. Now, this here, it's got a belt clip on it. It takes a Makita battery. My power tools are primarily Makita, but what it does is it's got USB plugs in it so you can charge your phone up off, but you'll also see that relates to the PDR as well, the paintless dent repair kit. So I'll turn you off, we'll set up, and we'll go through the... Actually, no we won't, we'll do something else just first. Dust masks. Now, these are just the P2 dust masks, alright? The difference with these is these have got the activated carbon on them, and they're a foldable one, they're small. So they fit underneath your welding helmet when you're using it. And being activated carbon, they give you better respiratory protection. Also got, this is one, I've got a couple of wire cut wheels, and I've got some just straight ones turning up. So yeah, look, there's stuff keeps coming along. The wallet keeps getting emptier. But yeah, we'll have a look at the PDR kit in a second. Alright, so I'll give you a bit of a look at what's in this first PDR kit. That's the one in the red bag. It says DIY. Yeah, look, don't be mistaken by thinking that I'm a skilled technician, because I haven't done it before. And don't think that it's going to be easy to do. That's the first two things that I'll say. In the kit comes a set of instructions. So we've got something on the back. Yeah, look, there's plenty to get yourself into trouble with. Bit of rag, squirt bottle for the isopropyl alcohol. It comes with a number of bits of nylon, different sizes and different shapes for taking out high spots, which you will put in. It comes with some hammers. This one's aluminium. The head screws off. This backside again is nylon by the feel of it. Soft hammer. One rubber face, one well, I'm assuming it's a urethane. Lightweight, probably great for little stuff, but we're not shifting big stuff, or we shouldn't be with a hammer. One tiny little Phillips screwdriver with two tiny little screws. When I find out what they're for, I'll let you know. Actually, we'll change the order a little bit. A hot glue gun, and I'm throwing them everywhere. You get some different coloured glue sticks. There's a reason for the different colours in the glue sticks. They stick differently in different temperatures. Apparently, the go is don't let them get completely cold before you use them, because they actually, I say completely cold when you use them, when you stick it on, don't let it drop back to completely cold before you start putting pressure on them. The reason being that the actual bond strength and the tensile strength is slightly higher when it still has some residual heat in it. Now the other thing is, when you are pulling on panels, to stop the paint cracking, it needs a bit of heat in it. It's more flexible. So how do you pull on it? You have a choice of this lifter, which operates like that. It's actually quite a nice nice bit of gear actually. I was trying to work out whether it's cast or it's machined out of a billet. It almost looks like it's machined out of a piece of flat bar or plate. There's actually there's another handle that you can use, and it hooks on to, and I'll show you. You get, this isn't the basing kit by the way, you get a variety of different colours and shapes and bits and pieces. These are glue pulling pads, and that's what goes into what you do the pulling with, and they come in a variety of different shapes depending on what you're trying to pull. These ones here are aluminium. You probably get a bit more bite with these because the glue can get through the holes in them. So they'll do quite well. The problem with, so we've got some pink ones, we've got some blue ones, we've got some black ones. I can get them all out and show them to you, but basically they're different shapes. The pink, the blue and the black, they're all different shapes. There's some more blue ones there. There's this one here, which basically it's more or less a hailstone remover. You bridge onto the panel here, put that in, you glue this bit in, and then you screw it up. A little bit better than what I'm demonstrating to you now. You see, you wind this handle down and it screws it up, pulls the hale dent out. So that one will be interesting to see when it gets used. Comes with a handful more, so you're not working with one at a time. You set up, what do we got there, 2, 4, 5, so you got half a dozen that you can glue in and go for at a time. You don't need that. That's just more glue sticks that I got out of the way. The little thing for getting the residual glue off. Now that residual glue comes off with the isopropyl alcohol. When you spray that on, it comes off quite easily, from what I can see. Now there's this little beauty here, anodised aluminium. But what it comes with, again, is a handful of Again, they feel like nylon. Bits that screw into it. So we'll just screw one in. Interestingly enough, they have a, which I've only just noticed. So there's one tip. But what we'll do is we shall take that and screw it out. It actually has a grub screw screwed into it backwards. It's probably so you can't over tighten it. And it goes down a bit far, truth be known, but yeah, so it's got a grub screw in, and what you can do is you can change the tips over. That's actually threaded quite deep too, so just got to be a little bit aware when you're screwing it together, which is what I'm doing out of shot, to make sure that it screws in, which would be a lot easier if I wasn't trying to hang on to stuff in both hands while I was doing it. So there's one, there's another tip, and another tip. Couple more different shapes. That one's interesting. I haven't quite got that one worked out, but there's a lot of things I haven't got worked out. Slightly larger. And again, slightly different. So the that's the basics of that kit. There's also a couple other bits that I've shuffled between bags, because these are a couple of different kits. So I've shuffled bits between bags because it's just more convenient when I'm carrying them. I'll turn you off and we'll come back to the other bag. So we're now into the big black bag. Now, both kits come with a line board. There's a difference in the line boards. What you use the line board for is that when you've got the line board on, you've got the line board on the setup next to the panel, you can see the lines as they run across the panel. If the panel's got the right shape in it, the lines will be straight. If it's got the wrong shape in it, what you'll see is a kink in the line, or a bendy line. So that's what the line boards are for. Now, this line board, and this gets back to the USB adapter, has a light on it. You plug it in, it lights up, so it's great for working in low light situations. Yeah. So, as I said, there are a couple of different kits. They come with, because there's two of them, they come with these little ball mounts, the obligatory suction cups. How they work, I'll let you know once I get them on. Two different manufacturers, two slightly different lengths. At the end of the day, who cares? Now, this is out of the other kit. This is a slide hammer for those glue-on tabs. You can put this in and pull back on it, lever on it. It's got a spring so you don't go. You can even tap in a bit if you wanted to, I suppose. But primarily it's a slide hammer for pulling the dents out. This is a wedge for going down between between your window glass and the door, so you can access down through the inside of a door without having to pull the whole thing apart. That's the theory behind it. Oh, try not to throw that on the ground. Another one of our obligatory half-size hammers. Now, I'm just ratting through the bottom of the bag here. What we have is some rings, some S-links, we have a stainless steel hook. So what we can do is we can hook a piece of chain onto it, drop that down, and then this will make sense in a little bit. What we have is a large handful of rods. Each rod in this kit, which we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 rods in this kit. Each one is a different configuration. And different configuration, that being length, shape, angle. The handles are all the same, but this one here, as you can see, it has, yeah, it's not a 45, it's probably not far off 45, it's probably about, trying to make up my mind whether it's 45 or not. Yeah, it's about 45, little ball tip on it, tapered. This one here is probably closer to 60 and with a different tip on it. This one here is shorter than the one we just showed you. It's also slightly thinner, which it can afford to be. To give you an idea, the handle's about level to start with. There's, yeah, couple 100mm, 8 inches, something like that. Difference in length, we're not going to bother measuring them. We're not talking in sheep stations here. This one here is extra kinky. It's got a couple of kinks on it, and it's got a flat end on it as opposed to a point. So this one here's for pushing on that face there. A little burr on that, it might need a little bit of tidying up before you use it. This one here, like that. For getting around something and coming back, again pushing on this face here. These hinges are a little bit more defined than I'd like. Yeah, personally I think I'll be just rounding them off a fraction before I use them. And again, this one's a shorter version of the kinky one. Something to be aware of, and I don't know if you can see that, but right on the tip there's a burr. It needs to be deburred. There's a little spot where they haven't quite finished the centre properly. So if you actually use that, you'll put a dent in. A different type of dent to what you want. This one here is okay. So just something to be a little bit aware of. Here's another one. This one's a bit longer. As you can see, the thicker ones obviously are longer for a reason. Although this one here is basically the same length as the last one I showed you, but it's only, yeah, about 6mm in diameter. It's a fair bit thinner. So that's what's in the kit. Now why didn't I pay someone to do it? Because A, I want to have a go at it, which is probably the big reason. B, when I do need it, when I get time to have someone do it, it's probably going to be a Sunday, and they're not going to be too keen to do it on a Sunday. When I do it, it's a new skill that I acquire, which is probably just as important as anything else. I like developing a few skills. And you got to stuff a few things up in your life, so we'll see whether I get it okay, not okay, reasonably okay, or surprisingly good. And if I can manage that, if I can get to surprisingly good, well, I'll be surprisingly surprised. So that's where we're up to. There's been a fair bit of other stuff going on. We had a bucket load of rain. the house got flooded. The people that live in the house, yeah, they're not particularly happy at the moment, and I don't say I blame them. But yeah, look, things are going fairly well. There's a fair bit of work, but I do really need to spend some time at home. So hopefully you'll get to see a few more videos. Thanks very much, and I'll see if I can get a couple other videos up while I'm about it. While I'm home, that is. Please subscribe.